The next show that you saw this evening was a wonderful play written again by two fantastic Detroit playwrights. I wonder if you're sensing a theme with tonight's programming. I am very pleased and proud to welcome to the stage tonight Carollette Phillips and Edmund Alyn Jones, the writers of 2020. Hey, y'all.
Hi.
How's it going?
Woo.
I know, right? Listen, so first thing, I just want to say how much we all enjoyed working on your piece. It was just really, really beautiful, again, because we read everything blind. We read this piece and we're calling each other and being like, yo, you have to do... In fact, Lex, why don't you tell the story? Because I got it confused.
Okay, well, I'm taking over for you, but great. So basically, we know Carollette and Edmund. John specifically has known, it's a close-up on me. John has known Carollette and Edmund, and we all went to school together. And when he read, actually, I read 2020 first, and I was like, oh my God, John, you have to read this play. It made me cry. It was brilliant. Like, you have to read it. And then he read the wrong link because there weren't any descriptors on it. And he was like, are you sure? Really? Like, I don't know. I said, John, I don't know what play you read, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't the one that I'm talking about. So try again. And then he tried again and still was like, nope, still the same play. And I said, yeah, no, here's the details. One more time for your good mind. And then he said, oh, it's beautiful. Oh, it's amazing. And then he said, you know who would be perfect to cast in this play? Carollette and Edmund. And then he saw who wrote it. He was like, oh, that's why, because Carollette and Edmund wrote it.
That's so I don't know if I told y'all that story, but it's literally my thought. I called her. I know exactly who we have to cast in the show. I know exactly who these actors are. Their local is going to be great. Can you both talk to us for a second? Because your voices, I thought, were so clear and present. These characters were really, truly three-dimensional. And I was getting texts the entire night from friends of mine talking about how much they loved your work. Can you just talk to us about the process of creating these characters and writing the show? Either one of you, jump right in.
We always do this.
I guess it started as a situation comedy. So the original premise was a bachelorette party. So normally you have a bachelorette party, you go and do adult things. So what if, instead of a bachelorette party, you decided to go on the date with the person you had a crush on in high school? So that was like the original premise. That was like the original, I was thinking like, ooh, what if? And then it just kind of grew from there. And when I shared it with Carollette, we were in graduate school at Wayne State. Big ups to the Hillberry Theater.
Yep.
All right. And she was like, oh, this is fun. So I shared it with her and I was like, it'd be really cool if you could help me out with this because I don't want to incorrectly represent the female voice. So I just thought it would be cool to have somebody that I trusted, somebody that, we'd known each other since high school. We were in Mosaic Youth Theater together. And since we were spending so much time in grad school together, it was just a great time to connect on that.
Well, so Carollette,
for sure. No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, what is it like writing with somebody, right? Because that process of melding styles and melding voices isn't always easy.
No, for sure. I think that for Edmund and I it was easy because, like he said, we go way back, like way back, to Mosaic when we were kids, and we always had to do a lot of collaborating. You're always like improvising together and coming up with scenes and working on stuff. Edmund and I used to work together at the Detroit Zoo doing like a frog show about animals. And like
I'm sorry.
We've done Richard III together as Richard and Anne. So like from like Frogs to Richard and Ann. We've worked together a lot, so writing together is just easy because we have like a mutual understanding. And like what he was just saying, we were in grad school, and it started at a tech rehearsal for a show that neither of us was in a lot. So we were doing a lot of, hurry up and wait, right? We're sitting around and we were just passing the laptop back and forth. And it's really, to me, writing with someone, especially someone who is great, it pushes you to be great. It's like, from an acting standpoint, I know when I'm on stage with Edmund, I've got to bring my A game because I'm not about to be out there looking stupid. And I think it's the same thing with writing. When you're working with someone who's really like gifted and talented, it's inspirational, and you get inspiration from each other, and you bounce off of each other, and you hold each other accountable. So it's like, oh, I've got this idea, I wrote this, and I throw the ball back to you. Well, you got to do something with it, you know? And it's kind of like, you keep that momentum going. Like I don't know if you've ever played that actor game, but like where you say your line and you have to like
toss
throw
a ball,
like toss a ball to the other person. If you don't catch that ball, it's gonna like hit you in the face. And I'm not about that getting hit in the face life. So I enjoy writing, with the writing partner because it's fun, and also you have someone to that you trust to say like when something isn't working. And when something really works, because sometimes writing by yourself is just different, like, trying to like gauge that. So.
Yeah. It's interesting because, as everybody knows, we were in a virtual rehearsal process for 2 weeks, and you both had an opportunity to step into a couple rehearsals with our wonderful director, Brian DeMar Jones, and our two fantastic actors, Nicole and Henri. What's it like through that process? And then again, how did that shift and grow as Alexis and I had to take it into the space and then put it up on its feet?
Ooh.
I cried. I'm not going to lie. I cried after the read through.
Yeah.
They are really talented actors.
Killed
it was amazing.
They killed it.
They killed it.
Yeah.
And I've known Henri as an actor for several years and respect him as an artist. And so it was just to hear him say, wow, I'm really excited to play something that you wrote, because, he's done so many cool things over the years, and he's like giving us kudos for something we wrote. It's like, it's surreal.
Yeah.
And Nicole, man, she just, it's fun watching her and what she brought and the nuance. And there were a couple of lines where it's just like, I don't know if we want to keep that. And then in their mouths and their interaction with each other, it was like, oh yeah, that's right. That's good.
Yeah. Because it's scary, like you said, with trusting somebody with your work and putting it out there because you don't know how it's going to sound. And I know how, like John said, when you read it, you could see like, oh, Carollette Edmund, these voices. But like their voices are totally different than ours, but they just killed it. Like even when we watched it on the Zoom, we were hidden or we had our cameras off. And so when they did the read through on the Zoom, they turned the cameras back on. Me and Edmund are both sitting there like, and they're like, what's wrong? And we're like, we're just speechless. Like we were just overjoyed, and we were just so happy that we were just speechless. We were literally both just teary-eyed and just sitting there like, oh my God, this is about to be so dope. And we just couldn't wait to see it on stage. And that's the thing about theater that we all miss right now, right? Is that theater is live. You're like in the room. It's different than film. And so it was just super dope to see it go from Zoom onto the stage. Even though, it's not like, when we're sitting in a theater and we get to like be in rehearsal together all the time. So I just thought that transition also was very awesome because all day today, we were just sitting on pins like, oh my God, like I can't wait to see it, because it is different when you're just reading it versus when it's on its feet.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, John.
No, that was for you.
Oh, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm going to toss the
We're
ball.
live.
So yes.
We're live. We're live. Um, I was actually, so Carollette, oh no, it's another close up. So Carollette, when you were actually talking before on like the kind of the pre-discussion, the pre-interview, it came up how this is a universal story and yet it feels very Black somehow, and how, I guess, when you all were writing it, what were your thoughts about that? Because this literally could be anyone, but at the same time, there's nuances there that, at least to me, feel very like inherent, intrinsic to the culture. Like, or Edmund, Carollette, whomever.
Yeah.
Thought?
I think our previous playwright said it best when she talked about seasoning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like,
Yeah.
sure, we can all make macaroni and cheese, right? But
Yeah. Mine's pretty
you
dope,
know what
though.
I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I
Mine's-
mean?
Yep.
So I think that that's the difference, is the seasoning, because sometimes it's not what you do, is how. And I think as far as in the language and the writing, the story itself, yes, it's a universal story. Like, these experiences have happened to many of us. It can happen to any of us, that transition from teenager to college to post-college and adult life and getting married and, adulting, all of that. But it's just, I think, some things in the tone, and in certain, it's just kind of like the swagger, just the way that you say something, it hits different in a, I guess, in a Black voice, so to speak. It's just kind of like how, like, if you're from Detroit and you say "what up, though," like, and somebody from somewhere else says it, it's not gonna be the same, if that makes sense.
You just sounded like my dear friends Takara and Takara Walker. Shout out to Takara Walker and
What
Norma.
up, Takara?
Punkin, Norma Hargrove. What up, though? Like, I can't say it like y'all. But they're my Detroit fam. So I just.
Also, I'm a Delta. Ooh, just want to throw that out there.
I'm gonna catch shade for that for a long time, y'all. I know I'm getting a text already right now. Can both of y'all talk for a second, because this is I think everybody knows, but in case they don't, all of this work was filmed, rehearsed, staged here in the great city of Detroit. Both of y'all are Detroit-based or Detroit homegrown artists and playwrights. And I'm wondering how, because some of those influences, like the dance, the ballroom, some people that aren't from Detroit don't call that ballroom. They think of ballroom as looking like something else. But did that intentionally work its way into your piece? Or did that just happen and then you turned around and realized, oh, this is what we wrote because this came out of us? E?
You can go, Eddie. Go ahead.
Yeah, I guess at the end of the day, and I think that is what this festival is all about, is we wanted to create something that we wanted to do, that we thought would have been fun to perform, that we thought other actors would dig. And so, yeah, part of that is expressing what we know. And, because how many movies are set in New York and in Manhattan and Harlem? And it's just like, okay, it's almost like you expect a movie to take place in LA and New York now. And so it's just so refreshing to have something that looks like our house, like our home. It sounds like us. It moves like us. So yeah, that was but I guess that was a part of it. It was just really wanting to write something that we wanted to do.
Yeah, and dance was my first love. I grew up dancing, but I think, like you said, how in Detroit we call it ballroom and stuff like that. It's just like certain things that are, unique about Detroit artistically. Detroit has, I think people know a lot about like Detroit music, but there's so many other like art forms and types of artists, that come out of Detroit, and even things like that. Like, it's fun because you might not do the hustle ballroom in like forever, but like you go to somebody's backyard barbecue or you go to somebody's wedding, that song comes on, you be like, oh, that, you just, like you just forgot that you even knew it.
Man,
it just happens.
For me, it's that Stevie Wonder, My Eyes Don't Cry. The moment I hear that song, I'm just up. Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, y'all, I so appreciate you giving us your art to produce. I know we mentioned this a little bit earlier to Ms. Parker, but I understand, and Alexis does too, what kind of a risk that can be for a writer, right? To hand over your work to producers and still being involved in the creative process, but not really being the one in control of how that work gets produced. So on behalf of everyone here at Obsidian Theatre Festival, I just wanted to say thank you for allowing us that privilege.
Thank you.
E, you about to say something, man?
You want to say something?
I really do want to say one more thing, and I think it's really important, especially in the Black community. It's actually gotten better, but near and dear to this piece, and I really appreciate Carollette because she helped to highlight it, is mental divergence, as I like to call it. Some people call it mental illness, but I spoke to a young man one time who had Asperger's, and he said, "No, I'm mentally divergent." And so I think it's really important that we talk about those issues as well. And I just appreciate you giving us a voice for us who are mentally divergent to express that on this platform too. So thank you for that.
Well, listen, man, thank you for the deftness with which you broached that topic, with which you built out these characters. It was truly our honor to work on your piece.
Yeah, and to bring such an important to, because in our community, we don't really talk about it as much in the same way that other communities do. And it is something there is a lot of mental divergence in our community. And it's here, and we love everyone, and like everyone needs a voice and everybody needs to have the opportunity to tell their story and to express themselves. So thank you. Thank you, Joy.
Thank you. So, and like I said before, your piece is going to be up. It's going to be available for 8 weeks. So check it out, fam. If you missed it, if you're just logging on, if you're signing on at the end of the night, you're a little late. Don't worry about it. It's okay. You can still watch this piece, 2020, by Carollette Phillips and Edmund Alyn Jones. Have a good night, y'all.
I've been waiting for a long time, waiting for the chance to get to know.